So I've always loved money ever since I was a little girl. And I tend to think that the things that we were really into as children, it's like that's coming from a pure place. How could that be fucked up, right? But then we live our life and people shame us for liking the things we like or wanting what we want, right? I always was finding ways to make money when I was a little girl, whether it was like lemonade stands, like making jewelry, selling it door to door. Like I'm telling you, I was like a little born entrepreneur. And it was just fun for me. It wasn't just the money. It was like I was doing things I wanted to do, and it was fun to like put it together and make the sign and make it pretty and package it nicely and interact with people when they came in and like see people being excited with what I had to offer. And then it was like so nice and rewarding to have the money and like set a goal for how much I wanted to make. Like I had a really good relationship with money when I was a little kid. I just want to take a moment to interject one of my funniest memories, like one of my the things that makes me laugh the most. I don't remember how old I was, but I was young, and one of the things I really wanted, I don't know if you guys remember this. This is gonna age me a little bit, but it was like one of those little like ATM machines, like a toy one where you could like roll your own bills in there, and it would like feed it into the machine in like a little slot for the coins, and it would calculate how much you had. Like before I dropped out of college, I was doing accounting. Like I always just liked money and numbers and like making logical sense of it. Anyway, so this was like my fun gift. So I wasn't one of those kids who like, I was always very serious and like pragmatic with things. That was like my favorite Christmas gift growing up, in case you needed a good laugh. Anyway, so I started out by explaining how the things that we're drawn to, the things that we genuinely love as children, like that's coming from a pure space. But then we go through life and people start shaming us, and we start to feel like we're wrong for liking what we like or wanting what we want, and we feel like we need to conform and be something different. So when I was healing my relationship with money, I was trying to go back in my mind. I didn't want to go through like every moment in my life. That's like exhausting. I don't recommend you do that. But I was really trying to look at like, where was the first time I felt shame around money or charging for my services? And this is actually another cute and funny story from my childhood. I do remember I was like third grade at this point. So I've always been super into crystals and like nature things. I've also always been a bit of like a mysterious loner, like the popular loner, if that's even a thing, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm talking about, guys? I feel like my soul tribe will get it. So like at recess one day, I was just sitting under, there was this big pine tree that I liked. And, I was just chilling, hanging out with my crystals, like doing things with them. Knowing myself, I was probably color coordinating them, a little bit OCD. But anyway, my friends and the other kids, like some people that weren't my friends, all were coming up and like, what are you doing? Like, oh, what is this? What are you doing? And I was like, these are my crystals, Long story short, they became enchanted with them because of my passion, because I was enchanted with them. Like I made them special, right? They wouldn't have thought anything of them, and they wanted them. And I ended up like, they wanted to buy them from me. I don't remember if I suggested they pay or if they suggested, but either way, everyone was really happy. Like I had shared my crystals. Everyone had some crystals. Everyone was super happy. And then I go home, and later that night, my mom's like cleaning out my lunchbox or something. She's like mad because she found $40 in my backpack and asked what it was from. And I said, explained the crystals. Well, she really shamed me for it. She made me feel terrible because she was embarrassed that I had taken money. To me, it just seemed like the most natural thing. I hadn't thought anything of it. And she made me give the money back, and I wasn't allowed to ask for my crystals back. And as kind of not serious and cute and funny and silly as that story is, when I was really as an adult looking back at that, I was like, wow, that actually really impacted me in how I felt about sharing with the world and receiving compensation. And I think so many people have been programmed with this, women specifically, which is why I'm on such a mission to help women change this, because, what that told me was like, it's wrong to charge for my gifts. It's wrong to want to be paid. I should just give. People get to come to me and take and take and take, and I have to give everything away. And I don't get to have anything in return. And if I ask for something in return, it's shameful, it's wrong, I'm greedy. I should just be giving, And also like, if there's something you don't want to give or don't want to share, like shame on you. You should just give everything away. And this was one of the wounds that was really impacting me that I didn't even realize about, that was really capping my income. And like, of course, there were other things, right? Like, we go through life and we pick up all these stories. We have a bad experience, and then that gets lodged into our subconscious mind of like another limitation, right? There were other things I witnessed growing up. Like, my dad worked really hard, was like absent often, and we were always in debt. So I had this story of like, no matter how much you make, it's never enough, right? There were just a lot of things. And it's not that you need to stress about figuring out everything from your past, but it's sometimes these little things that we overlook, or that, things that we've heard over and over again that we don't even think to question, but they're like really, really impacting you and what you believe is possible for you and what you believe you get to have. Yeah. So I just wanted to share the story. It was coming up. I know some of you have mentioned you like when I share my stories, and it's fun for me to share it. And I think it helps open your mind and see how you may have gone through something similar. Sometimes we make these things too serious and like shameful, when really it's like, okay, we're all human. We're all just having these experiences. We're all just doing the best we can, But if this is something you would like to dive deeper into, if you feel like you have wounding around money and you are wanting to become an energetic match to money, to learn how to intentionally align with wealth, to uncover what stories have been keeping you from making the money you can make and that you deserve to make, it can be old programming, shame, all different things, kind of like we talked about. So if that's something you're wanting to dive deeper into, I invite you to check out my program, Align with Wealth. It's a 2-part program. The first part is focused on really consciously working through the mindset, looking at old patterning and conditioning. And then the second part is all about reprogramming your subconscious mind, because that's one of my favorite things to do. So if you'd like to check that out, it's linked in my bio. You can also see the other ways you can work with me and check out my other programs there too. Aligned with Wealth is under the self-paced programs tab. Okay, I love you. Bye.